Hello, I'm going to show you how to archive works from AO3 onto your computer, either as a list of URLs or as actual downloaded files. So go ahead and go to the repository code.macver.org/bog/AO3-archiver. I have the link in the description. This is a Python project. It should work anywhere that you can get Python. The easiest way to run this is to use UV, which is a project manager for Python. So under the preparation section of the README file, click on this link. Read this page to find how to install it on your operating system. Now, if for whatever reason you can't use UV or you don't want to use UV, that's okay too. But either way, go ahead and click on this blue code button and then download zip. Go ahead and extract it and open up the folder and then open a terminal inside the folder. You can either right click in the space and there will be an option, or you can go into the menu and there might be an option. It depends on your operating system. If there is not an option to open the terminal in your file manager, you can open up a generic terminal and type in cd space and then drag the folder into your terminal window and hit enter. And that will put you inside the folder in your terminal. So once we're in here, we can use the commands in the README. So let's go to AO3. Go ahead and find a tag that you want to find all of the works of. I'm using Moon Wings of Fire. This will work with any tag that has works and any fandom as well. So if you wanted to archive all My Little Pony works, you could do that. And you would just put in My Little Pony. But I'm going to go ahead and put in Moon Wings of Fire. And in our terminal, we're going to type in uv run ao3-gatherer.py. And then in quotes, I'm going to put in moon parentheses wings of fire. Once I run that, it's going to say finding works with tag, and then the tag you specified. And then this is going to take a little while. It's going to have to basically search and check each page individually as if you were doing it manually. And it's going to depend on your internet connection and AO3's speed. And I'm pretty sure they're using Cloudflare to limit bot requests, which is going to slow this down as well. You can see that it found 45 pages. And if I actually go to the web page, you can see that is correct. And it's going to go one by one reading pages. And we have a tags folder now with a file with the name of our tag. And if we open this up, you can see it's putting all of the URLs in here. It is also appending these parameters to the end, just to make sure that when you go to this URL, it automatically shows the whole work. But of course, if you don't want these here, you can find and replace in your favorite text editor after the fact. You'll see these warnings sometimes got a 525 error. I'm not exactly sure what this is. This has something to do with Cloudflare. It'll warn you, but I don't think it's anything to worry about. Depending on the number of pages, it could take anywhere from a few minutes to multiple days. Again, it's not very fast. There's not a lot I can do about that. So if you have more than like 20, 30 pages, this is probably something you want to run overnight. Don't run this on your laptop right before you leave the house. I'm going to go ahead and just stop this right here. We don't need to see the whole thing. But now I have this list of URLs. And I can, I don't know, do whatever. I can put these in a spreadsheet. I can upload this to Internet Archive, whatever. Now I want to actually download these. And to do that, if we go back to the README, there's this section to download works. And we use the AO3 downloader script instead of the AO3 gatherer script. If we do uv run AO3 downloader.py-h, there are a few different parameters we can use. So we can specify URL to download just a single URL. We can specify file to give it a list of URLs and do a whole bunch of them at a time. Index is the line number to start at. So if you, for some reason, started downloading a bunch of URLs and it failed at line 500 out of 600, instead of having to re-download everything, you can start at line 500. I've never been in a situation where it stops halfway through, but just in case, that is there. And then there's the format. So you can choose AZW3, EPUB, MOBI, PDF, or HTML. And these are all the same formats that are on the site itself. If you don't specify a format, it will default to HTML. So let's go ahead and download all of the URLs in our file here. So we're going to do uv run ao3 downloader.py -- file, and then in quotes we're going to do /tags / moon wings of fire. Yes, great. And then if you want to, you can also just drag the file into your terminal rather than typing it all out. I'll hit enter. It says we have 220 works to download. And then it will go ahead and one by one tell you which one it's on. As you can see, because I did not specify a format, it's using the default HTML format. And like the AO3 gatherer, this process is very slow. And in fact, this is actually going to be a lot slower because it has to go to 220 individual works rather than 45 pages. And actually, I cut it short, so it'd be way more than this. So this is not fast, but it's automatic. So you can run it in the background while you do other things or sleep. I don't know. You don't have to micromanage it. And you don't just have to use the URLs that this generates. If you have your own list of URLs, like let's say you want to gather multiple tags, you can put those in a file yourself and then run the downloader on that file of the combined URLs. So you can organize your own list of URLs. Just make sure that you do have the parameters at the end. Otherwise, it might not work. All right, you can see it, and actually, look, it finally downloaded 2 of them, actually. And they will appear in the saves folder. And here you can see I have them in HTML. I'll go ahead and open this in my browser. Oh my goodness, flashbang. And here it is. This is the same as if you just went to this and download HTML, but it's completely automated. And then again, I'm not going to run this because it is going to take forever. And that's about it. Hopefully it's pretty self-explanatory. But if you have any questions, let me know and I'll try to answer them. Thank you for watching. I hope you learned something, and I'll see you next time.